So glad you guys made it back for yet another video of Dyson Sphere Program, and welcome to all the newcomers to the channel. Consider subscribing if you enjoy this sort of content. It really helps out the channel. But in today's episode, we are going to build our item hub along with fixing our power, because we need to essentially build out a bunch of smelters here to take our coal and make the what's it called? We need to make some of these energetic graphite to increase our fuel, so we can populate a few more of these thermal plants with energetic graphites. That's what we're up to today. It's going to be a pretty good episode. We are going to start with converting some of our power here through a bunch of smelters down here. Pretty much what we're going to do. I'm going to put a bunch of smelters down here, take a bunch of this coal, plop it through there, and then just transition that off so that we can start filling the rest of these, because pretty much half of them are empty. All right, that wasn't too bad. If you have not played this game before, I highly encourage it. It's a very fun game, especially the building. It's very easy to use and very easy to build. So essentially, like for building these guys, it's, you know, you can click and drag whatever you have as your. If you want to like duplicate this, you just shift click it, and you can drag out however many you want in a row, and it keeps all of the sorters on it. It's an excellent building mechanic in my mind. Yeah, and it's really easy to upgrade. Eventually, I'll get the upgrade facilities here, and you get a whole section. It's really quick and easy, especially to upgrade factories. So, just a really nice mechanic, and I really enjoy playing this game. We're gonna probably double this just to make sure that we get enough coal coming out of these. I don't know if we really have enough here, because it looks like the last 4 really aren't really working. The last 3 definitely aren't. This one is kind of on and off, so we're gonna need to make sure that we really get all of this out. All right, looks like what we might need to do is take this one out and potentially kind of join it towards the middle, because I was joining in about the 4th one. I think that should be good enough, I would say. So we'll come back and check on this in a minute, after I kind of go over the plan for the item hub. All right, looking at the entire globe here, I'm thinking that something along the lines of, you know what? Now I think we're gonna put it here. We don't really have a ton of space. There's a lot of veins on this planet, so we could maybe go here. Although that's gonna have to be factories. So this is a bit of a conundrum here, if you ask me. Because obviously we can't get too close to the dark fog base there. So I mean, we do need to start building out our platform foundations. Yeah, but those do require the steel beams, which we are not producing at the moment, and so we do need to start doing that. I do have the bricks, and so we might want to kind of start with that. So yes, we have all these bricks set over here, which they're not really producing that much, to be honest. It takes 1 to 1, and this thing is producing. What is this thing producing? It produces 210 a minute, so that's not bad. Essentially, these take 60 a minute, and so 6, 12, 80, 24. That's pretty much that whole thing. So really, I can't build any more of these, and these make roughly 240 a minute. So that should be a pretty good start in order to build a bunch of foundations. Kind of feel like it has to be here, but we need to build our foundations first. So let's go ahead and let's grab a little bit of this iron down here in order to build out. Again, all these items are going to be stuff that are going to be on our item bus that I'll eventually build out. All right, let's first get some steel on the go here. Probably join those 2 together just so we can get a full line. All right, we're going to be able to build a few more smelters here. So let's make sure we get enough of that stuff on the go here. 9 should be pretty good. That should give us about 15 of these suckers, which on a full line of the belts, which do 6 a second, which is essentially 360 a minute. The steel take 3 of the iron ingots, which those are 1 to 1. So that's essentially a 6 of those on this line. So then we can make 6 steel factories to give us a third of that. So essentially we're making 2 a second for all this work, which is okay. That's not bad. For now, this is what I have come up with in this scenario. So essentially we have the 6 down here, and then the 6 making that, and then we get essentially 2 per second coming out of these. It's a pretty easy layout there, nothing too crazy. It should keep up with all that. Eventually this should unback up, I guess. All right, last thing we need to do there is make sure that this little base down here has some protection. Otherwise, we're kind of screwed there. So we'll let that build up and then add in a few of these guys in order to pump out the ammo to make sure it comes down there. And we do have our massive stockpile here, which will eventually end up in our item bus. Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking I want to put the bus like here almost, and then have, well, I guess I could do like, you know, across here and then have them all kind of spew up into there. Something along those lines, I think, is where I'm going to end up putting it. All right, now that we have all of this up here, we should be able to just grab this on out here. Maybe we even do that, and then we will pull that out there. I think it takes, I think it actually, no, you know what? That's not going to work. Never mind. Bounce that. Bounce that idea. Oh, dang it. Okay, now that I fixed that back up, let's actually take this back down this way, and then we will just bring it down here. We'll produce all of our stuff right there. Which should work out pretty well. Again, we'll come up here and we will make sure that all of this stuff comes out. Yeah, we're gonna join up our bricks with our steel beams and create a bunch of platforms, because we're gonna need a bunch of platforms. We're making some foundations, not very quickly though. We will probably want somewhat of a larger factory in order to handle that. All right, yeah, we're gonna delete a bunch of these wind turbines over here, because this is where kind of that item hub is going to be. Kind of show off, you know, how we're going to have it all set up and everything. But that'll probably be in a little bit of a boop. Actually, in the meantime, I had to jump in here and build a little bit better power supply for our mech. Because, yeah, we're really struggling here to stay afloat with our power. And so, yeah, we're going to use these combustible units for right now, just to get us back some power. So, yeah, I got that just on a little bit of a chain here. Oh no, here they come. All right, gotta get my defenses ready. All right, where are they coming from? Where are they coming from? Nobody knows. Up here. Oh boy, there's a lot of them. All right. Well, I think technically we should have a decent defense kind of happening here. I don't see them on the radar yet. How are they not on the radar? Arnold. All right, they're definitely getting harder, so that's not good. Okay, that's good. All right, hopefully come on. This guy is so slow. All right, our turrets did pretty well there for themselves, so that's good. Oh, never mind. Okay, the drone, I guess, is going to fix it, so that's good. All right, we should be good then. And I did get our flight mode finally. Yeah, I've been waiting to have that for a while. That has really been bit of a limitation that I'm currently having, so glad I finally researched that guy. All right, looks like I'm not really keeping up on enough bricks for now, which is partly to do with the mining machine over here. So let's just revamp this a little bit, make sure we get a bunch more. That'll be ideal. All right, really simple process there. It wasn't too bad. I just had to add a couple more in here to make sure we got a full 360 line, and then essentially these are a 1-to-1. So, you know, actually I can fit 6 on this, can't I? So we'll make that 6. This one couldn't get 6 because it's not, you can see here, it's not a full line. So we could only handle 4. But now we should be very much making that a full line, which actually I think it's too much of a full line now. So that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Yeah, this is where it becomes a spaghetti mess. Yeah, because essentially these 4 should be able to do at least 1. So really this line needs to kind of loop around here and join in like in the middle, which is not going to work. Actually, you know what? Actually, it will work. I should just be able to... Oh, man, why is this got to be right? All right, we're going to go up, I guess. All right, we're going to go up there, and then we're going to come down in there. And that should be better. Why don't we do that? All right, I just went ahead and stuck in another mining machine here just to fill out that line so that we can at least get 6 for this one, which should help out the first 2 there. So it shouldn't be too hard to fix. We just simply go in here and we click and drag, add 2 more. And yeah, that should fill it out. I think maybe we're going to have a problem with the sorters, I don't think they're fast enough, to be honest. Because they only do a 1.5, I think, a second. Yeah, 1.5 trips a second per grid. So since it's a single grid, so it's a 1.5 a second. I don't think that's going to be doing enough. So you know what? We're going to just loop us around. And then we don't... I guess technically once this fills up, then it should continue on. But we don't want that. So we're going to have it just continue on. That should give us a full line, I think. But anyway, it should at least help the first two here, since that's a full line. And then we should be able to at least get one more out there. Yeah, we'll go with that. That should at least help out with creating more of this, which is what we need. As you can see, I'm already kind of starting the process over here of just kind of filling in the area. Now, one little tip here is that you don't really need to fill the whole area in. That's kind of a waste. You just need to kind of make it so that there's land. Little bit of a tidbit there. So just to give a bit of a tidbit of what I do, at least for my item bus, I like to just have like a whole row here, you know, however many we need. Essentially, I build them in and I just go one by one, add all the items that I know I'm going to end up needing, and then just slowly kind of build in each line, coming from where, you know, on the planet it needs to come from. And then, yeah, it's essentially just that. It's really nothing too complicated. It's just a matter of, I like to just set all of my storage facilities up to have whatever product it technically needs. And then we go from there. And then I guess, you know, I like to kind of start it off with maybe a few little belts off to kind of get it looking like it's starting as an item bus. But I don't usually like, I kind of build them off wherever and then just build a belt all the way to this one spot, essentially. I think it worked out. It works out pretty well most of the time. And then, yeah, we're just going to end up going down the line. And so we got 1, 2, and I think there's maybe a couple more. So we got 1, 2, and then the maybe 1 or 2 more different power sections. I kind of forgot exactly how many there are. So maybe here we start with our mining machines. And again, it's just going to kind of go down the line here. All right, I had to get a little sidetracked here because essentially I need like I said before, I need a lot of these magnetic coils. And so what I had to do is I had to take a bunch over here, iron, take a bunch of copper over here, mix it all together, create a bunch of these magnetic coils. That should be good enough for now. It's 45, that's 180 a minute. That should be enough to do a bunch of different items. And then I have a bunch of leftover copper in order to make like the circuit boards, which I should be able to use, as well as, you know, then I'll find another iron to make some of these gears, and I'll just jumble it all together in order to make all this extra stuff. Because essentially a lot of these need pretty much that same stuff, coils, gears, iron ingots, a lot of the same stuff. I mean, there it is again, that just adds in stone. That's the exact same. So a lot of this first base stuff takes pretty much the same stuff. So yeah, I'm not gonna like make it like a one-to-one perfect match. I'm essentially just kind of taking a little bit here, taking a little bit there, shoving it all together, making a long belt, bringing it over to wherever the depot is. So yeah, that's what I got so far. Doesn't look like I've done a lot, but it's been quite a while. Okay, we hit a little snag in the in power situation again. Yeah, we were pretty much down to like 20 megawatts, and yeah, we're demanding a decent amount, but it fluctuates up and down, not too bad. But now we're at least generating around 80 megawatts. I had to essentially double the output of these combustible units instead of using the graphite. It seems like it's holding up. I don't know how long these reserves are going to last, but yeah, I had to double that up. Yeah, we're going to probably end up splitting this, I would imagine. Bringing that in a little bit further down the line. So yeah, let's put that splitter in there just so that we can take this down here a ways, just so that if we do end up having to, you know, because it is stopping here, and that's not going to work very well. Eventually it will. There's no reason to have it all going into the front, and so we need to funnel some of it towards the end. So let's just do that. We'll just funnel it kind of the half. It's not really halfway. It's more about 2/3 of the way through it. Okay, so it does look like we have a decent amount of overflow. It doesn't look like it's using it all, which is, it makes sense because we're not grabbing all that power. Essentially, once this starts getting to 100%, then it goes about the same, the speed it would normally go at that 80% conversion rate. So it's kind of misleading right now. It's not using a lot of power, so it doesn't need to convert it. And so it just sits there waiting. And so it's a little misleading when you finally get to 100% grid load and all of a sudden it's speeding up like crazy and then you run out of the combustible units. A bit of an annoyance, but it'll work for now. Yeah, so I'll give it a little show of what I've gotten so far. I don't know, it looks kind of cool, I would say at this point. We do have a decent amount of things coming in. We got our power line poles, which might even probably limit some of these. I don't think we need like 3 whole rows of those. Along with the other pieces as well. You know, we probably don't need that many of those. Yeah, I usually split it to about a 1 row, except for these guys. I mean, we're gonna need a crap ton of those. I think maybe that's probably enough enough of those for now. That's just how it's gonna be. Oh, oops. No wonder they weren't going in there. I had it filtered wrong. Yeah. So we got our smelters in here. Probably make a full box of those. But yeah, these are all coming from down on this side. I just built a fair amount of different assemblers down here that kind of pick all this other stuff up. I mean, they're essentially all picking the same stuff. I'll probably end up maybe doing some of the splitters because I do use those a decent amount of the time. I don't really ever use the traffic monitors, to be honest. We are going to need the depots and these guys. So yeah, I can't do these yet. I don't have any of the glass, but essentially we'll be able to do the depots, we'll do the splitters. We already got these. We'll probably... we're not going to work on that yet because we don't have those... we don't have these electric motors anywhere yet. So we're not going to work on those. I can't really work on these either because that takes these guys, which take the prisms, which take the glass. The whole story there. Yeah, got the thermal plants on the go as well. Probably need to make some of these turrets, I will say. Because we definitely don't have those. We're not going to be able to make the missile turrets yet. Those are a ways off. But we probably need to build these just Gauss turrets as well. All right, welcome back, guys. Just thought I'd give a little update here on the item hub and how it's going. As you can see behind me, it's going quite well. We have a lot of items coming in at this point. Yeah, there is a lot of different items flowing on in to our item bus. That just looks pretty sick. You ask me. Pretty nice. Yeah, we got all of our major things at this point that we're gonna need. Just finished up doing the oil refineries and extractors, but essentially we have everything we really need to really get going. There's a few items left that I have not done. I haven't do the turrets yet. I can do the Gauss turret, but I don't have the motors yet for anything else. And there's quite a few things that take those motors. Like the water pumps, I don't need those motors. I am going to do the matrix labs first, or the next one, and then that's going to wrap it up. So let me quick build the production here for the matrix labs, and then yeah, we're going to wrap up this episode with a pretty well completed item hub. Finished doing the turrets and the matrix labs. So yeah, this is getting pretty crazy looking. I actually love it. I love how everything kind of smoothly kind of runs together here. But essentially the real mess, spaghetti mess, is over here. Just don't look too closely. It's a bit of a challenge to try to squeeze everything in here, but yeah, it doesn't look great, does it? I just keep having to like twist out some different pieces here and there just to kind of get at least something going for every building and object. So it's working. It's just it's not running off of a very efficient setup here, especially these guys. I think I really need to separate those out, kind of. Can't really do that though. I don't really have a way to get them out. But yeah, it's a bit of a mess. But we do have the turrets now, and essentially we need to maybe produce some more ammo for the turrets because our setup right now has a very limited coverage. If we look at our coverage right now, It's not great. It's missing a bunch of spots. Our whole base up here, all of this over here isn't covered. Yeah, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge to get the ammo over there. I guess right here I could easily kind of turn it around. Yeah, so we're going to have to probably do that. But yeah, it's all coming out of these 3. Yeah, that's it's going to be a bit of a... we're gonna fail here at some point. So yeah, about there, and maybe there for now. I think that should be pretty good. Let's maybe go there. That should be good. That should cover most of that. And then we're gonna need another one over there. And then we need another one about there. Let's quick get this set up here. Okay, well now we have coverage on this side of the factory. So I just looped it around. Everything's kind of working. And obviously I need to have a backup down here of filling up when all these are not filled up, so that the belt doesn't stop, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do that. I think I can use a splitter and make a priority go straight, and then if it finally overflows, then yeah, we got to do that. Okay, that's not too difficult. Essentially, the priority is out that way, and then if there's an overflow, it'll come down here, fill up into here, and then obviously it'll loop first, but once it obviously, if it's filled up, then it'll keep coming through here and keep filling up the box once this side backs up. So I think okay, it took me a while, but I did figure it out. So essentially what we want it to do, so it's working over here. Obviously we don't want this to stop, but essentially what's happening is that it's splitting out this way if this is full, just to back up into here, and then it's automatically always spitting it back out. But since technically this gets priority, it can't just push them out all the time, so it's only filling in the gaps, which is essentially pushing them back into here. So it is filling up, just slowly, but it's allowing these to continue with making the ammo. That's what we're looking for. So yeah, now we just have to go through and make sure that this side has all coverage, which is pretty close. We do have a few places left to check. This is all good. The only thing left to do now is just down here, make sure that this is all covered. And then we just need to pull it from somewhere. So down here, yeah, this is a splitter. Over there, we might just split right here as well. I think it's what we'll probably do. Bring that down, and then let's get our turrets in place. So let's see what we got here. Okay, obviously we don't have every belt covered, but the majority of everything is covered, so I'm pretty happy with that. And right as a wave is probably about to attack us. So that was good timing. But let's check out quick back over here at our ammo depot. Yeah, so you can tell here that now it is kind of dumping them back out because it needs to refill the line. And yeah, it's working as intended. I think that's a pretty good overflow system, if you ask me, just so that these things don't stop working. Yeah, as we take a last kind of look at our beautiful factory in the dark, which looks pretty sick, if you ask me. And yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this episode. We've done a big chunk of stuff here. We have our whole item bus done. Not every item's created, but 90% of them at this point are created. We got a bunch left that we'll be able to add on here. We might end up having to come from the other direction, but essentially this whole line will be everything that we need to build. So yeah, that's going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one.